Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And welcome to this, a brand new day. Son of a gun, thumbs up for that. Hokey smokes, not a whole lot happening in life, but there have been some current events that I do want to talk about because, hey, current events sometimes impact all of us. And in this case, it's something that will impact all of us. It's just going to impact some of us a whole lot later than it's impacting like some of us almost immediately. Yay! Boy, that sounds cryptic, doesn't it? It is raining and gray and cold and drizzling and just, it's awful outside. But when I went for walkies last night, it was dry. And I can't remember if I could see the stars. There was some clouds periodically at the very least, but it was a nice little walk and definitely a thumbs up for that. Nothing really exciting happened. I just went for a walk and thought about things and hey, it worked out. It was a good thing. And of course, YouTube forcing all this sort of thing, I need to front load the video. Hey, if you could toss me a like if you like what you see in here, that'd be very, very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't and you like what you see in here, that too would be very cool. I do enjoy comments. It's very awesome. You could leave me a comment. I do my best to push through my executive dysfunction so I can answer them. That's a definite thumbs up as well. And I do wish to thank each and every one of my Patreon.com patrons. These beautiful and awesome people literally help to keep me alive, and that is a good thing. I do appreciate being alive. It is a good thing, and thank you to each and every one of these people. It is a definite thumbs up. They help keep myself alive and my pets, a little hamster and my kitty cat, who's not much longer for this world, I think. But, thumbs up for that. Thank you, each and every one of you. But oh boy, yeah, not a whole lot happened in my life yesterday. But, I did stuff through the day. I played some video games. Not many, but some, on and off. I'm still playing this one game called Into the Pit, and it's a good action roguelike, and so that's fun. I've been doing that sort of thing. I've been thinking. I watch videos. I try to learn stuff. I don't watch just, goofy, silly stuff. I watch, science things and just all sorts of stuff, and it's good. I find it difficult to sit and watch anything. So I can't watch things like TV. My ADHD has robbed me of that ability. I wondered why, I stopped watching TV back when I was, in 1977, I basically stopped. And, now looking back on my life, yeah. If I walk by a television that's on, I have to look at it, bright lights, loud noises, but I can't follow what's going on, and I get just so antsy just sitting. But YouTube videos where I can flip and do something else while I'm listening, or they're delivered in short bursts, yeah, I can do that. And so I do that, and so I did that. And then again, last night went walkies, and oh boy. One thing I do want to say, because it does tie in with this one, I have to carry everything on my back with my backpack now when I go out and when I buy stuff, and it's a lot easier than carrying it in my arms, and let me tell you, but the end result still comes down the same. I'm carrying huge amounts of stuff over miles of distance, and when I say huge amounts of stuff, I mean a backpack full, sometimes some extra bags. That's a lot of stuff I'm carrying. I'm turning into a pretty efficient pack mule. That's a good thing, because especially I gotta walk up 200 some odd feet into southern Shelton to get into the mountains and hills there so I can get home. I'm carrying like last night again, I had to buy cat dirt for my kitty, so that was about 30 some odd pounds just on my back, and I'm wandering it all around, and I'm 59, getting up there in age, and I want to stay I want to stay as alive as long as possible and as healthily alive as long as possible. So I'm glad that that's working out well. I'm 59 years old and I carry these 40-pound things upstairs every single day because I live upstairs. And, my bedroom is in another room on the upstairs here. This here is upstairs. I spend 95% of my time in here. And then, I go up and down stairs, so I'm getting, that helps with the whole health thing. And the reason I bring this up is Bob Saget died at age 65. And he is a man who had access to money and health care. Didn't appear to lead a rock star life. You know, I can understand a lot of people who are actual rock stars, and people that do music and go out on tours. They may not be the absolute healthiest because of the lifestyle that they lead. That's not a very health-conducive lifestyle. But if you're just an actor, comedian, stand-up comedian, and especially someone like Bob Saget, that wasn't exactly the rock star kind of life that you appeared to lead. So he was 65. That's only 6 years away from me right now. There is, in the United States at the very least, and probably around the entire world, something that is not often talked about, but it's going to impact every single person watching this video in time. There is a huge depression problem with the elderly, especially as stated in the United States and around the world. And it makes sense. Sure, you're getting older, you're learning stuff, you're getting skills. And I'm 59, and I'm my prime and peak of physical health was some time back. It ain't going uphill anymore. I'm on a downhill ride in a cart. It ain't gonna get better. So that's kind of depressing, and that's something that every single one of you is going to face as you get older. You will have passed your peak, but you're still going to keep living for a few decades. And you're going to feel your body getting older and hurting and getting more weaker. Oh joy. So yeah, that's a big depression problem. And yeah, you worry about your health. Because, people are doing things like Bob Saget. They're dying all around. The culture that you grew up with, the people that you listened to and watched on television and radio, they're all gone. They've all died. The people that made the culture you grew up on are gone. It won't be back. Every day, the people that you grew up with, there's one less. You reach the point, I sometimes wonder, am I going to wake up tomorrow? That's going to get more common the older I get. So yeah, there's a huge depression problem, and it makes sense. What do I have to look forward to? If something goes wrong and I push through it, unlike being younger, when you get, you push through it, you come out the other side and you continue climbing upward. I push through it and then I die. There's not anything really past that. So it gets a little depressing to think about. And so my getting older with having the cumulative effect of watching people die is depressing. And so it's been really hard this season, especially since, I've been watching for decades now people that I grew up on kicking off all the time. I was a big reader, huge reader, until my ADHD has robbed me of that ability at my age now. I grew up on people like Robert Heinlein, huge science fiction writer. If you don't even know his name, that's because he died decades back. And then Isaac Asimov, he was a huge influence. One of the big reasons that science fiction is the way it is because of him. And if you don't know his name, it's because he died in 92. The people that made huge impacts on my life were already kicking off decades back. That was depressing, of course, but expected. They were older, they were previous generations. They were both literally boomers. They were in World War II. But it's a little different when the person that kicks off is only 6 years older than you. 6 years ago, I was still living here, but I hadn't gotten any therapy, and I hadn't been realizing that I have ADHD and that I am an autistic person. 6 years ago, none of the stuff that I know now had happened. And I was here. 6 years is a blink of an eye. And even at that, 65, I read of people that are dying at age 70 or 71, and they have money and access to healthcare. Yeah, and I'm 59 and I don't. Now, I don't want to just talk about this thing. I just wanted to mention that's probably part of why I've got a big depression ride going on this entire winter. You know, my wife died, my parents have died, lots of people that I know have died, a lot of people in the media that I grew up watching and listening to are dying. Yeah, that's probably a big part of everything added on to it. I'm pushing through it, and this is something, again, we're all going to deal with. Every single person that's watching this is going to happen to you too. It may not be in the way it's happening now, because climate change is going to change everything soon, but it's going to face you. You will get older. You will have that decline. You will watch everything fading around you, and people that you grew up with and listening to be gone. You will reach a point. You wonder if you're going to wake up the next day. And then one day, you won't. Also, though, I've been doing a lot of thinking on things, and I want to talk about, there's a bit, I can't remember exactly if I talked about this one, but I mentioned all the doors yesterday for the whole inside-outside thing. The actual inside is just that infinite, huge, patient, waiting, heavy ball of infinite potential and possibility. I've also mentioned that that is the actual inside. So what we would see if we managed to go in and we get on to what is the inside, where like the Crimson Kingdom is, those are just islands. And a lot of these islands that are there don't actually have doors. They are put there as kind of a way for the individuals who live, individuals, because everything that lives in this infinite ocean is an discrete individual and is everything else. It exists only in one place and is a part of everything everywhere. It experiences discrete units of time, but there is no past or present. There is only an eternal now. There is no way for us to be able to understand this life, and they can't really understand what it's like to be so limited. So a lot of these islands have no doors through, and it's a place for the inhabitants of the ocean to see what it's like to live in the more limited body. Instead of emulating a VIC-20 in RAM on your supercomputer, you're recast as that VIC-20. You're not emulating it, you are it. But, if I can remember what I was talking about, yes, there's the infinite ball of stuff. Because of this, it is the multiverse writ small. Everything that could be within this universe, this conjoined universe, exists within this ball of everything inside of the inside. It is the inside. Every single thing that could exist within this universe does, and every variation of that thing exists. Human beings have existed since the very beginning of this universe. Everything exists within it. All of the dinosaurs that would have existed had the asteroid not destroyed them exist within this huge ball of infinite potential. Every single race out there that exists, every variation of it, is inside of this vast, patient ocean. Human beings have existed within this since the very moment that this universe began, because everything has existed within this infinite ball of potential since the very beginning. They've just been waiting for us here on the outside to show up. And for the brief time that we're here, and by brief, I mean from the star that we orbit forming to when it inevitably fades out and perishes itself, that's just a blink of an eye. but they're glad to share their existence with us while they can. It is an infinite ball of potential. And when I say infinite, of course, that's relative to itself, because it sustains this universe and there is loss through the razor's edge. In time, this universe too will fade and die. But hopefully on another day, I'll talk about just how long this place has lasted and is lasting. Because hokey smokes. And I've opened up as many comments as I have in the past 24 hours on my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank each and every person who left me comments. Thumbs up and thank you. There aren't many, but anything more than 0 is awesome. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, which is getting harder, hokey smokes, my hands are hurting so much anymore. But my memory, that was very weak. My memory is still getting better. Yeah, slowly. And my kitty is digging around in her cat box. Amelia, please stop digging. At least she's still active enough to use the cat box. She's barely eating, barely drinking, but she is still doing things, and that's good. Anyway, we have Wesker the Baker. Thumbs up, and I really wish I could record Minecraft again. Oh, it makes me sad. I hate myself, and that's okay. It's a long story. I'll have to tell it on another day. But Scotty P, we have, I cannot pronounce your name properly, but it is UNURTSETSEG space SUKHBAATAR. I do not wish to try that. I know I would not do it any justice at all. Thank you very, very much for the comment. It is greatly appreciated. Noah Genevieve Brown, thumbs up and thank you, and definitely I'm going to. Oh my gosh, I love this world building, and I really hope that I'm going to be able to survive long enough to do something with it. We have Jason Ozelins, and yeah, my early reactions to things were back when I was badly broken, and I was using reactions and such as a way just to feel. A lot of my reactions I would not do anywhere near the way I did way back when. But we have Harry Peter, thumbs up and thank you. Egyptian Mao World, I'm not quite sure. It says Placebo Beautiful James, so I think that's probably some kind of spam comment that I'll have to take care of. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and thank you. Agar Volpergus, and I bet I'm nowhere near close to how it should be pronounced, but thank you. Vilex, thumbs up. There is Catherine Mitchell, and yes, it's as I had stated, my early reactions were not good. We have Fargron, thumbs up and thank you. Haishi Alaya, greatly appreciated, and it is still a great game. We have Ben B. It is appreciated. Best I can hope for is a painless ending for her. It's life. It happens, but thank you. We have Favel, greatly appreciated, and thumbs up. We have Aurora Live, greatly appreciated, and I am surviving. It is a good thing. There is CS. I'm doing my very best to enjoy life, and that's a good thing. I mean, there are days that, as I talk about, taking a look at the world around me, I can't help but be depressed. But even though I've suffered depression my whole life, biochemistry, yay for that, I still wake up as optimistic as I possibly can. I don't know why, don't know how, but thumbs up for that. I've gotten derailed because I talked, and so here, just a minute, I gotta try and knock the little ball of my brain back inside the hole and catch where I was. Yes, here we are, I think. I do not know what device you're watching this on. I do not know where the show more for the video description is, but inside I have links to all my channels if you could check that out. Good golly, Miss Molly. Ugh. If you could check that out, that'd be very cool. I have links inside all of my, I mentioned the various channels, but also Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and again, I really do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These people really are beautiful and awesome. If it weren't for these people, I would literally be screwed. I mean, my disability only barely covers my rent, leaving me with very little to survive on. Even with these people's help, I have serious, I can't remember how long this goes, so it might go longer. I might have held my hands up too short. I don't know. I can't even remember where I was, but oh yes, even with the money, I still can't actually pay my bills. I am sinking, just slower with their help. but I appreciate the slower thinking to no end. Thumbs up. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link if you could check that out. I cannot make my tongue work properly today. And of course, if you'd like to help me out without sending money, I do have an Amazon wish list link. If you could check that out, that'd be very cool. I have things like cat food on it. And the one thing that on there past the cat food that I do really would like, and I hope that someone can get that for me, there is a Baphomet plushie on there. And it is so cool. I love stuffed animals. I always have. I have a whole bunch of them. And a Baphomet squishy would be awesome. So if you could check that out, that'd be very cool. Now, of course, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you can't or you don't donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could, toss me a like. I appreciate all the positive validation. And of course, if you hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Hokey smokes, I've not been able to talk. This has been dragged out way too long. But I've always been in love with the sound of my own voice, so I don't mind. Hopefully you have been watching this far. If you have watched this far, thank you so very much. It is appreciated. Of course, remember to seek creativity, positivity, and balance in your life. These are a good foundation for life, but they are not all of it. But all of these things are good. And of course, with the Kafefe bug still raging and all its variants infecting people like crazy, we have had more infections and more deaths lately than we did in the first half of the pandemic. Please take it seriously. If you don't have to go out amongst the unmasked mouth breathers, please don't. If you do, wear your mask. Maintain your social distancing. Don't touch your face often. Wash your hands often. Get vaxxed if you're not. Get a booster if you can. Please, this is not a joke. It is not a joke. Until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.